Hello and welcome to First Take. I'm Kimberly A. Martin, and I'm joined by three lovely gentlemen, Kevin Clark, Louis Riddick, and Christopher Mad Dog Russo. Hello. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Okay, I need a little bit more enthusiasm.
How are you doing in this chair right here?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy.
Big seat. You will succeed.
Thank you, Mad Dog.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to talk about football, guys. So the NFL Top 100 players rankings continue to filter out, and Patrick Mahomes' place on the list may be surprising to some. The three-time Super Bowl champion came in at 18 on the list, with the reasoning being, and I quote, "Statistically speaking, Mahomes had his worst season since becoming the Chiefs starter in 2018, which has translated to his lowest ranking amid his 8th season on the list." End quote. Do you guys think that Mahomes can lead the Chiefs on a deep playoff run? I'll start with you, Mad Dog.
Okay, well, first off, I don't like these lists with the quarterbacks at 18, because if I asked you right now, would you take Mahomes at number one, you take him. So to me, having in the 18, that means you take 17 players if you're picking a team over the quarterback. So that's number one. I don't like that. I think, Louis, you and I agree. Number two, I'm going to give him a little pass for last year. Okay, he got hurt. No, the season was over when he got hurt, but he got hurt. Didn't have a lot of weapons. They were due to have a little bit of a down year. They lost a lot of close games, which began in the week one, and they played the game in where they played down in Brazil when Herbert had the big run and they lost a close game. Kind of spiraled from there. I'm expecting Mahomes got a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove, and that's dangerous, giving a quarterback this good something to prove. I'm expecting a big year from Mahomes, and if you told me right now that the Chiefs minimum went to the AFC Championship game, I would not be surprised.
No. I want to hear from Kevin, because
That's okay. I've already been told he was next. I didn't even try to start talking. They didn't even tell me. Sorry.
You will have the floor very shortly. Here's why I disagree with you. Now, first of all, I do agree these lists are mostly worthless. Once we saw Lamar Jackson at, 68th, 69th, I said, okay, this list is totally illegitimate for this year. But when you look at the AFC right now, I see a few teams ahead of Kansas City, including in their own division. Here are the problems that Patrick Mahomes faces this year. Obviously, health. That is unknowable. It looks like he's full go in training camp. That's great news for football, for Chiefs fans, for the offense, all that stuff. But there was a defense last year that went from first in third down close game defense to 32nd last year. That's what happened in the fourth quarter of games last year. A running game where Andy Reid himself said defensive backs and linebackers were not even biting on play action because they didn't respect it. The lowest explosive run rate in the league. And then just getting to the passing game, which is very rarely a question, the deep ball still isn't there yet. Mahomes tried to go deeper than he had in years past. It simply didn't connect. I think he was 30th in passer rating when going 20 yards down the field. That is not the same offense we saw 4 and 5 years ago. So if you don't have that, you cannot take the top off the defense. Patrick Mahomes is the best big play quarterback I've seen in my life. And I watch a lot of NFL films. I don't think there was anybody in the 50s, 60s, 70s who did it better, okay? He is the best big play quarterback I've ever seen in my life. If he's not hitting those, everything else has to go perfect. Unfortunately, right now, everything is not going perfect for the Chiefs.
So, Lou, I want to ask you, because prior to last year, the Chiefs had made the playoffs 10 straight times. So do you think that Patrick Mahomes can lead them on a deep playoff run this year?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he will do his part. Look, I've always been one of the people who believes that QB wins shouldn't be a statistic, because the game is so interdependent and so interconnected. But you know what? Because of the notoriety that the position gets, because of the salaries that they make, we always say, look, this quarterback won the game, this quarterback didn't win the game. It's the only position that we attach team wins and losses to. And quite honestly, I think that's ridiculous, because we understand how the game really ebbs and flows, and how so many other things help determine the outcome of football games. Has Patrick Mahomes' skills declined to the point where you think he is the 18th ranked player in the NFL? Of course not. Has a lot of the circumstances and a lot of surroundings that he right now is, being subjected to, have they changed? Of course they have. It was the offensive line a problem last year? Of course it was. Was the running game a problem? Of course it was. That's exactly why they went out and got Kenneth Walker and drafted Emmett Johnson. Does he have Tyreek Hill? Does he have McCole Hardman? Does he have Travis Kelce of 5 years ago? No, he doesn't. Everything looked a lot better when he had those guys, didn't he? Of course it did. Patrick is the ultimate force multiplier, as Mike Tannenbaum likes to say. He's the ultimate. And 4 or 5 years ago, I'll tell you, when he threw the winning touchdown against San Francisco to McCole Hardman in the end zone, I remember Dan Orlovsky, when we were doing the international broadcast, with Chris Fowler, said, he's the best player I've ever seen. He's still that guy, but the things around him have changed. And right now, we become prisoners of the moment with these kind of rankings, and we forget what he has done and what he still probably has a lot of runway to do.
I agree with you. I just want to bring up one counter, Doggy. So Lewis was just talking about all the things that have worked in the past for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes still being a force multiplier. What he didn't mention, though, was the rest of the division, like the Broncos, the Chargers, like all these other teams that have also gotten better. So when we talk about a deep playoff run for the Chiefs, do you factor in the competitiveness of the division as to why the Chiefs may not have a
And they have a tough schedule. Don't they play the NFC West? I think that division plays the NFC West, so that means they got Seattle, San Francisco, and the Rams. And they play Buffalo on Thanksgiving. they're going to have that schedule all the time.
There's a schedule. Take a look, everybody.
So that is, they're going to open up with the Broncos. The Colts are not easy. The Seahawks are sitting there. The Niners are sitting there. The Rams are sitting there. They're going to play at Seattle, at LA. So I understand that. And I look at that stretch. Lewis and I did this a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Look at that stretch they have. Bills, Rams, Bengals, and then the Patriots, 49ers. That is a hard stretch. But I am going to go with the athlete here. Okay, if you're asking Christopher Russo what side you're taking, Lewis was a GM. Kevin's he gave you great stats, good football. I am going to go with the guts of the athlete. This is a guy in the prime of his career. He got hurt late in the year. He didn't have all his weapons. They bring in Walker, as you just mentioned. Yeah. He's hearing all this noise. He's not stupid. He's hearing he's 18th. He's hearing that Denver's supposed to be better and everything. He's lost a step. And I think when you do that with a guy who's this good, that is dangerous. Yeah. So I'm gonna put the chips at number 15.
Yeah, put a quick button on it, Lewis.
Yeah, to answer your question about can he lead into a deep playoff run? Look, I think a lot of things do have to go right now. I was really kind of really going on and on about why I thought it was disrespectful for him to be ranked 18th. Now, their road to having a deep playoff run, it is markedly difficult. I mean, it is significantly difficult considering how much improvement has really happened in the AFC overall. And a lot of things have to go right for Kansas City. This offensive line has to be able to play a physical brand of football that Eric Bieniemy is going to ask them to do. Kenneth Walker is going to have to play Super Bowl caliber Kenneth Walker type of play. Emmett Johnson's going to have to be great. At the wide receiver position, have you seen the videos of Rashee Rice? Does he look healthy? No, he doesn't. Right. Cyrus Allen, who's a fifth-round rookie, is being counted on to really be the juice guy on the outside now. Travis Kelce, look, he's getting long in the tooth. He's not the same player. All these young guys on defense, it's going to be a tough road to hoe for them. But as far as Patrick is concerned, he will do his part. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement that Patrick Mahomes is something special. But I do want to transition from a team like the Chiefs, who's always in playoff discussions, to a team that isn't really. The Cowboys. So the Cowboys and the Saints took competitiveness to a whole new level yesterday at their joint practice as the teams were involved in multiple brawls, including Saints tight end Brock Reichsteiner, son of WWE Hall of Famer Scott Steiner, body slamming a Cowboys player. Take a look at this. But also, take a listen to what Coach Brian Schottenheimer had to say on the scuffles.
A little chippy, not the way we like to do business. Got to be better, but I got to look at the film. We're certainly not going to take